Métis Nation Saskatchewan has announced it is withdrawing from the Métis National Council immediately. The announcement comes just days before the MNC was to hold its annual General Assembly and elect a new president. That vote and the AGA were previously postponed before MNS made its announcement today. For more on this, we're joined by Michelle LeClair. She's the Vice President of Métis Nation Saskatchewan. Vice President LeClair, thanks so much for taking some time for us here today. Can you tell us why Métis Nation Saskatchewan decided today to leave the Métis National Council?
Yeah, well, this has sort of been in the works for a bit. We have heard from our citizens that, we are forging our own self-government path here. We're, near to the end of our negotiations of our treaty. And our treaty goes to our citizens in the next while, and so it was one of the things that we decided as our citizens had instructed us that we needed to be on our own path. And Saskatchewan is a long, storied history of Métis people in this province, and so we decided that this was the path that we were going to take. As you probably know, Dennis, we left Bill C-53 some time ago, and we just felt that, our concerns and growing concerns about the situation in Ontario, that the Métis National Council wasn't really being a strong advocate in that place, and we felt that we could be, obviously, our own advocate, both nationally, provincially, and internationally.
Yeah, concerns have been raised for years over the Métis Nation of Ontario registry and the inclusion of the 7 new historic, Métis communities. Was there something in particular that led to this final decision to pull out of MNC?
I don't think that there was anything that was really sort of that turned the corner on it. Other than, I guess there was some issues around the MNC was postponing their annual general meeting. There was a number of issues that really we thought, when we look at ourselves and the path that we're going on, is a strong path of self-government and self-determination, and our citizens and our council believe that we advocate for ourselves in Saskatchewan and that we don't need the Métis National Council. We don't need, to be involved in controversy that we don't own. And there's potential for it to stand in the way of the rights and the wishes of our citizens.
It was just last year that the Métis National Council celebrated its 40th year. Now with the MMF, Manitoba Métis Federation, pulling out in 2021 and Métis Nation Saskatchewan no longer part of it, what do you think that means for the future of the MNC?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think, they're going to have to, the MNC is going to have to reflect on who they are, why they're here, and where they go, if anywhere, from today on. The Métis National Council is actually has 3 founding members. That's Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. And then, of course, Ontario and British Columbia are part of that board of governors. You really have to have 2 governing members to make quorum. And so they are left with 1, which will probably frustrate their bylaws, and they'll have to, sort of go from there. What does the Métis National Council look like, and do they really represent the interests and the voices of Métis people in the prairie provinces, specifically Manitoba and Saskatchewan?
I know this is about Métis Nation Saskatchewan moving forward and speaking on behalf of their citizens, but given what you just said, is this also, do you think, the end of MNC?
I really don't want to speculate on that. given some of the things that I said, they're really going to have to reflect on. And as I said, their bylaws will be frustrated, so there'll be a legal way of sort of trying to figure out how they change their bylaws, if in fact they will do that.
Vice President LeClair, we'll have to leave it there, but appreciate you taking some time for us.
Thanks so much for having me.